71 days from Thanksgiving, 103 days away from Christmas. But before we get there, we should probably plan on Halloween, right?
I think so.
Well, we're just 48 days away, and that's that with the help of Children's Museum. I mean, Halloween's about here. So we'd like to introduce two guests to the show. We have Leslie Olsen, Public Relations Manager. Hi, Leslie.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. And we also have Liz Sewell, Indianapolis Children's Museum Guide. And you also have a very special title, don't you?
I do. So thanks for having me here. But my special title is one of the two head witches.
How do you get that job? Because I think I'm one of the two head witches around here.
Well, my husband thinks I am the head witch. So there you go.
Okay, now I'm going to get myself in trouble in a number of different ways here. And how did I get positioned next to the witch over here? How'd that all work out?
You're that lucky.
Hey, we have a giveaway that's happening from the Children's Museum today on the show, and we're actually going to be polling our Facebook Live feed, and the giveaway actually is, go ahead and throw it up on screen real quick. The giveaway is, do we have that on the... Well, ladies, why don't you tell us about the giveaway that we're doing?
Sure. So we have a fun Halloween basket, and inside that basket is are 4 complimentary tickets to the Children's Museum Guild's Haunted House, and this year, which runs October 7th through the 31st, so can't use them until opening day. We also have some fun Halloween baking accessories. So there's a dish towel in there. There's
cool.
a pirate or a skull and crossbone kind of piratey cookie cutter and some sprinkles. So some fun things to get you in the mood for Halloween.
Am I eligible to win that?
I don't know. I don't know there's any rules.
Are you a witch?
As a fellow witch.
Don't go there.
As a fellow witch, yeah.
So what we're doing is during the show, we're actually going to be watching a number of the comments that are participating. So, hey, to win, ask some questions of our guests as we're talking to them, and we'll pick from your comments at the end of the show. So, ladies, again, thank you so much for joining us. Now, your team doesn't celebrate just one day. You pretty much are celebrating during Halloween, you're celebrating all of October, right? Well, you're celebrating Halloween all of October. How about this?
Yes, we do. We do. Actually, in the Children's Museum Guild, we celebrate Halloween 365 days of the year.
That's awesome.
It really isn't a year-long process. But for the guests that come to the museum and to visit the haunted house, it is a month-long celebration. So we have a lot of great events, not just the actual haunted house themselves. So everyone can be a participant in some way and pick the event or events, hopefully more than one, that appeals to them and their family.
So the Guild has put on the haunted house for, was it 54 years now?
This is
been a long,
It's the
long
54th
time.
year. It's the longest consecutive running haunted house in the nation.
How do you advance a haunted house year after year for 54 years? Like, that must be every single year you have to outdo yourself. So how do you go about that?
You do. Well, so the Guild, you do have to outdo yourself year after year. And we've always asked ourselves at some point, where does it become the year that you don't outdo yourself, right? No one wants to be in charge of that year. So
Yeah, it's going to be a lame year. We got to reset everything.
No, it really, so there's 100 women that are active in the Guild.
Oh, wow.
It's a 6-year commitment.
100 witches?
100 witches, yes, 100 witches.
You can say that. I'm not going to say that.
So it takes the entire 100 witches to build the haunted house. We also have a lot of help from three artists that are also craftsmen, and they help us build and design the house. So we definitely couldn't do it without them as well. But and that's why I say it's a year-long process. We start planning the haunted house the August before the house opens. So our haunted house, we started planning in August of 2016.
So it's not an afterthought.
No, it is not an afterthought. It is very much a well-oiled machine at this point.
Absolutely. I've witnessed that in action. In fact, I brought my kids there a number of years ago. In fact, we also took them through a scouting lights open or lights on haunted house as well. So it's not just super scary. There's a lot of different things that you do for families, right?
There are, and that's one of the greatest things about this haunted house, I believe, that Liz could talk more about. But there are lights on experiences for children who scare easily, but there are also
or grown-ups who scare easily.
Exactly. Lights off experiences for those who want an extra thrill.
There we are.
Yeah. It's always going to be a safe place. We're not going to touch you or grab you or anything like that, but we may jump out and scare the heck out of you or something like that. unless you're a little child. And then we want it to be a memorable and fun experience.
And it was. And do you do that regularly for the Scouts as well? Do you have a program each and every year? Or
Yes,
is it...
so we do have a program each year for the Scouts. So
Cool.
this year, every day is Scout Day, and they actually can get their own haunted house patch.
That's right.
So that they can put on their uniform. So they can pick those up at the end of the house in our boutique.
Very cool. Very cool.
How long has there been a haunted house patch? I feel like that's not
This-
existed since I was little.
Well, it's been around for a number of years.
Yeah,
so
I
I'd say
remember
at
that.
least 10 plus years that the patch has been around.
I'm
so.
showing my age.
I think the Scouts will have an extra interest this year because the theme of the haunted house is Wicked Woods.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. So can you divulge any part of the theme? Not to give away any scares.
Oh,
but...
I imagine Liz can tell you a lot about the 15 different wicked rooms.
Yes, so we do have 15 spaces. This year's been a bit of a challenge for us, and really kind of stretched us creatively, just because we're doing an outdoor haunted house. So how do you create a house that is really an outdoor type of space versus walking through finite rooms that you think of a traditional haunted house? But it's been really cool. So we have anything you might experience when you're lost in the woods. So there's caves, there's water features, there's lots of trees, there's a creepy campsite, there's an old decrepit a cabin that's been abandoned.
Are there weird birds?
Oh, there's going to be some
I
weird
was going to
birds.
say there has to be weird birds.
You can't have an outdoor haunted
Right.
house without weird birds.
Yeah.
Yes. Lots of insects, maybe some wild animals,
Wow.
maybe a Bigfoot.
Oh my!
Yeah. So
Wow. For those up in the Northwest, that is going to be the Sasquatch. So, I mean, literally,
That's right.
you've got everything that could be scaring you outside in the woods, right?
absolutely. And frankly, I mean, being out alone, lost in the dark in the woods is just scary in
That's
itself.
my worst fear. Yeah. Also, you should add raccoons because those are also terrible.
Yeah, you got a bit of an issue with raccoons,
We
don't
have
you?
a raccoon.
Do you?
We do. Well, actually, our raccoon is our seek and find for Lights On. So one of the fun things that we do for our Lights On visitors is that we create a seek and find. So in each room, we hide something that for the kids to find each year. So they can go through the haunted house and try and find this item in each room.
Very cool.
So this year it is Ranger the raccoon. So Ranger will be hidden in each room, but it's a friendly raccoon. It's not a scary one. Does not have rabies or anything. So
No, I'm just getting some ideas, actually. So we'll move on from here. Much of our staff here absolutely loves Halloween. I know the Black Hat Bash is actually coming up.
Yes.
That's the city's biggest family-friendly Halloween party. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So the bash this year is on Saturday, October the 7th. It's also our opening day, so we're super excited. It's going to be a huge day for us. It's going to be fun. So the bash is a huge Halloween party at the museum. So the museum's open to everyone. All exhibits are open. And then throughout the museum, we have restaurants that basically have booze, and they have samples of various kinds of foods that they bring. We have an arcade. We've got a Midway. We've got face painters, balloon, animal twister type people. We've got a DJ, live entertainment from
wow.
Showtime dancers. They teach the kids how to do the Thriller dance. There's also
Is that kids only?
Oh no, adults. Anyone that wants to learn how to do the Thriller dance. It's always a huge hit.
An important
Absolutely.
skill set.
It
too.
really is. And
It really
it's
is.
actually pretty difficult too. We also have a huge costume contest. So
Oh, wow.
we have they go across the stage, they're judged, they win fabulous prizes, and there's various categories you can enter. So family, you can do a family themed costume as a family and enter in that category, or also enter as individuals.
Oh, that is very cool. Now, when is that date?
That is Saturday, October the 7th.
Very cool. So that's opening up for the entire Halloween.
So that's the
Oh, for the-
opening day of the haunted
haunted
house.
house.
Yes, is that evening is Black Hat Bash, and then also with that, with the bash, you do get to go through the haunted house. So you could either pick Lights On or Frightening, because we do operate both.
Sounds like a really fun night.
It is.
Wow. Well, the museum always had such amazing events going on throughout the entire year. Can you tell us some of the events outside of just Halloween? Although, I mean, Halloween's the biggest and the best. What else do you have? Because I got to keep my kids busy regularly.
Aaron, it is nonstop at the Children's Museum of Indianapolis.
Yep.
We have something going on all the time that's new and different. And that's one of the important parts of our mission is that we want to always be changing, always be educating, always having fun. And that's what we do. So, we have 13 permanent exhibits right now, and a couple of those are brand new. If you haven't been here for a while, we just opened the American Galleries of Arts and Popular Culture, which is very fun. That just opened this summer, and along with it is a temporary exhibit that will change all the time, but it will have a pop culture theme. So we opened with a experience called Dance. And we've got all kinds of dances that kids can learn from the 20s through disco, through the thriller dance, right on up into the dancing of today. So that's very fun. And then we always have 2 or 3 temporary galleries that are always changing. We have one right now called Circus Starring You that's been so much fun, and it continues. And you can come in and feel what it was like to be part of the Barnum and Bailey circus, or all kinds of very, very interactive things to do. And that's one of the things we're very focused on, is that we don't want to be a museum where you just look. We're in a museum where you touch, you participate, you are a part of the museum. So.
No, absolutely. And again, just talking from experience, my kids, whenever we bring them out there, and it's a fantastic experience, because there are things changing all the time, and we're season pass holders, and it's a huge benefit.
It is
as well,
yeah.
As opposed to getting tickets each and every time. I mean, it's an incredible benefit for what the price is for a full season pass or full year pass.
Right.
Not to gratuitously put a plug in there, but you really
well, thank
should. You really should if you're a family.
It is. We say you can, if you're a family of 4, you will pay for your membership in 2.5 visits.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Right. And so if you live in this community, then you can, just come for a year and over and over and over. It's a fantastic opportunity.
Well, I know yesterday you just announced 12 new sports figures who are going to be recognized at your new sports park. Can you tell us about that? Because it was awesome, and the list that I saw was incredible. So I want to hear all about that.
Well, it did. We're, as you know, on March 17th of 2018, next St. Patrick's Day, we're opening a 7.5 acre expansion to our museum. It's an indoor-outdoor sports and health and fitness facility, which is a kind of a different direction for us, and we're very, very excited with it. We're partnering with Riley Children's Health, and the outdoor portion will have 13 different sports and fitness areas. Everything from Colts football and Indiana Pacers basketball and Fever and Fuel and soccer and IMS oval track and the Pete and Alice Dye golf 27-hole golf experience.
Wow.
And this is not putt-putt. This is actually learning some of the fundamentals of golf for children and grown-ups. And along with it, we have the Old National Bank Avenue of Champions, which is what we announced yesterday. So along this Avenue of Champions, we are starting with 12 different legends in sports, coaches, athletes, broadcasters, and we announced them yesterday, and the list is fantastic. If I had to sit here and name them all, I'd probably be hard-pressed because they're so great. But people as Reggie Miller, Reggie Wayne, Pete and Alice Dye, Tamika Catchings, Oscar Robertson.
Oh, very cool.
Slick Leonard. It's just a wonderful situation. List. Yeah. Wow. Barbara Wynn, tennis. She's done a phenomenal job here in Indianapolis with local kids tennis.
Yep.
It's exciting. They're going to have full-size bronze statues. The clowns, which were the original Negro baseball league here, we've got 3 statues, and Hank Aaron is among them. So, it's really, really exciting.
Well, that is fantastic, and I did want to talk to some of our Facebook listeners and watchers and pull one of their comments in. Jace Hills actually says we are members but have never been to the Wicked Woods to go back to the haunted house here. Why should we not miss it? So, all right, game on. Okay.
Sure. So it is the Halloween experience for Indianapolis to be able to go through this haunted house. So if you chose lights on, it's a lights on trick-or-treating experience. We have giveaways in each room for the kids, and just really going through the house and touring it and seeing the decorations and the artistry and just the creativity and imagination in all things haunted house. If you if you love Halloween, this is really an exhibit for you. It's amazing, all the work and the effort that goes into it. And if you like to be scared, this is the place to do it as well. So, and most people equate, Children's Museum is not going to be scary. It's scary.
Yeah.
So my kids, I'm not going to reveal their ages, but they still won't go through lights off, and they should be able to.
Well, can you imagine listening to the guild, one of the guild participants, 365 days a year talking about the haunted house? I'm not going to go near that if my mom's talking about that. I mean,
Right.
I mean, all the planning. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, but they do love to help. So kids do love to help. So they do help a little bit.
But I will put in the PR plug here that it is a
Yes.
very safe Halloween
Yes.
experience.
Yes.
So you dress up in a costume if you don't want your children to be going door to door or whatever. This is a great place to put on the costume, come, and you do trick or treat all the way through. So throughout the whole month, you can trick or treat in a very safe
So you
atmosphere.
do not leave empty-handed.
No.
You do not leave.
and to that point, I do want to double back around on
Some cute ones behind us.
Yep.
talking about that safe environment, and unfortunately, it is a bit of a testament to the day and age is that sometimes you don't have safe neighborhoods to trick or treat,
Sometimes that's true.
and this
sadly.
is an incredible and very, very good alternative to just eliminating that
Absolutely.
risk factor and taking your kids there. They're going to get a bundle of candy. You know,
Yeah.
we've seen what you give out. That's huge.
They've got, and at the end, there's a boutique where there are very, very nominally priced other tricks and treats if they didn't really get what they wanted going
If
through.
I'm not mistaken, you guys have some great candied apples there as well.
In boutique, yes,
Yep,
we do.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
we've got popcorn, we've got hot dogs, nachos, all sorts of, really healthy options.
Well, and you think, as far as the parents go, parents what? Typically, you go trick-or-treating, you have to stand on the sidewalk, you wave at the neighbors. This would be far more engaging for the parents, too. I mean, you get to walk through and participate in it as well. Instead of just standing around, you get to experience it, too.
Absolutely. The adults that go through love it. And they're usually being pulled along by the kids because they're wanting to stop and look at everything
Yep.
and just really appreciate all the work that's gone into
The artistry of it, sure.
And it is beautiful. I mean, it sounds wicked and woodsy and all, but it's it's beautiful. It's beautiful, the art that goes into these things. And tell us, Liz, about some of the amazing, quirky statistics. I think is amazing.
Sure. So this year so far, we've used 250 pounds of flour and 20 gallons of glue to create
my.
paper mache trees for our woods.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So, and we actually use old sheets to paper mache, so they're sturdy. So people can run into them, or
Punch them.
or bump into them, or
Edge
a
of Indy does
stroller
not
runs into
advocate
'em.
punching
Yeah.
the trees at the
Yeah.
haunted house.
Try not to punch the
In
trees.
self-defense, if you think it's something sneaking up,
Yeah.
you get
It happens.
It's
It
They're
happens.
trees.
It happens. We've also collected over 200 artificial trees. So think old Christmas trees that people have no longer want, ficus trees, anything. And we've spent, I don't even know how many hundreds of hours removing lights from the pre-lit Christmas trees
I'm
for
getting,
the
I'm
haunted
getting
house.
the Nightmare Before Christmas vibe going on here. That's fantastic.
So, and then we use thousands and thousands of insects, bats, 2,000 probably skeletal parts.
fake bats, right?
Fake bats, not real bats. There are no live animals in the haunted house.
No animals will be hurt during this haunted
No
house.
live animals. Yes.
That's a bunch of stuff. So those are really, that's some great statistics. How many people will come through the haunted house given October and
Sure.
October 7th starting out?
Sure. So last year, we had over 67,000 people come through the haunted house.
67,000. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we anticipate it will be about the same this year. We've increased a little bit each year, but we're tracking right around 65,000 annually
That's a
through the house. Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of scared people there.
It is a lot of scared people. It's also a lot of friendly giveaways, too, because actually, if you think about that number, probably 2/3 of that is actually lights on visitors.
Yeah.
Really?
Remember, we're giving away 4 tickets to the haunted house here. So fire off your comments. We got Tyler Sparkman. He's asking, "What's your favorite exhibit at the Children's Museum of Indy right now?" I'll go to our PR person first.
Well, right now, my favorite temporary exhibit is Circus Starring You because it's visually beautiful. There are 3 big top areas. There's a virtual reality experience that is really great. You put on the glasses and you're at the top of the big top walking across a tight rope.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it feels so real. The first time I did it, and I'm older, we'll just leave it at that, I was paralyzed. I could not move. Some of the kids, they can just scamper right across the tight rope.
Right.
No, I was paralyzed. I had to do it twice. I had to say to myself, I'm on the ground. I'm on the ground. I'm on the ground.
I'm in a building. I'm okay.
And, all right. And when you get across, people clap for you and confetti flies and everything. So I absolutely love that. It's very creative. And there are rings you can feel like what it's like to be an aerialist and just you can dress up and be the ringmaster. There's just all kind of fun things like that.
All right, Liz, your turn. You're kind of biased, aren't you?
Yeah, I am biased. You know what I'm going to say? It's the haunted house. It has to be the haunted house. We're living and breathing it right now. So.
And I'm going to brag on the haunted house because she's probably a little too humble to do it, but I think it's very important for your audience to know that what they are doing is keeping the Children's Museum of Indianapolis new and fresh all the time and educational and relevant because all of their proceeds go to the Children's Museum Foundation. And they have given over $11 million to the Children's Museum, these ladies that work so hard day in and day out. And that money supports a lot of programming for families that might otherwise not be able to take advantage of the Children's Museum, for free days, for discounted days, for a thing called the Access Pass that they help underwrite, plus a lot of our science programming and different kinds of after-school opportunities for young people. So the Haunted House, while it's great fun, is also a great nonprofit organization. These guild ladies work so hard to keep the museum available to everyone.
Good work, Head Witch. Good job.
Thanks.
Yep, I got a couple more comments. Just want to throw out there. Pamela Kelly Ogle Novotny actually said it's not current, but our special needs adult son loved the Transformers exhibit whenever they had that out there.
Right, it's been a couple years ago.
And Austin Gilman actually said, do you recommend lights on or lights off for a 4-year-old at the haunted house?
Lights on all the way. Definitely lights on.
Yeah, I would say the same.
When do you think the lights go off for a kid?
It really depends on the child.
Yeah.
It really does. But I think Target, you could start thinking about 8 years old, depending on how easily your child gets scared or has nightmares. My kids are older than that, and they won't go through still. But they're kind of...
What about 31-year-old men? Is that what I heard?
Definitely lights on. Definitely lights on.
You do not deserve lights on.
That's so funny. By the way, I know it's September, but everyone is looking ahead to Christmas.
Absolutely.
And I know you all have already planned for Santa's big arrival. So can you tell us about that? Because it's time to start planning for that now.
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about Santa's big arrival. That is an annual event that we absolutely love. Of course, Santa has to arrive some way to Indianapolis from the North Pole. And he chooses to come via a 2-seater IndyCar race car.
Wow.
Which seems logical to me.
Absolutely. That Indy 500 pole sitter and fan favorite and local resident and museum member Ed Carpenter drives.
Oh.
So driver Ed Carpenter puts Santa in there after he makes it here from the North Pole with the reindeer, and he arrives at the Children's Museum. The kids are outside. It's always the day after Thanksgiving in the morning. He arrives at about 9 a.m.
So cute.
You can be out on the plaza and enjoy hot chocolate and sing-alongs and music, and it's a great family opportunity to see Santa come. And then he goes inside. We welcome everybody in. He rides down our Yule slide with a member child, and then he takes his seat up in Jolly Days, which is a big exhibit for the holidays. And he's there then, of course, throughout the holiday season, even through Christmas Eve Day when we're open for free.
Wow.
So on December 24th from 10 to 2, you can come for free and get your last wishes in with Santa. And it's just a holiday that we love as well.
Absolutely. Hey, small world. And we're big fans of Ed Carpenter as well. We actually did his website. I would love to do Santa's website.
Oh, there you
Let's
Can you-
tap into that opportunity.
Very, very cool. Well, before we wrap up, let's speak directly to the parents and the families out there who may not have visited the museum or those who haven't been in a while. What makes the Children's Museum of Indianapolis so great, and why should more families actually make their way to see you?
Well, we're 5 full floors, almost 500,000 square feet of exhibit space, and everything is new and different and exciting. We focus on STEM education, but we focus on fun. You really can't even do it in a day. It takes a couple of days if you're going to go through everything. Our Dinosphere is world renowned.
It is incredible.
They are real fossils.
Yep.
There is a real working paleontology lab. We have a real wet lab of archaeology. We have a ScienceWorks display. And so we focus on the humanities, science, and fun.
We are all about those things.
Absolutely. A last point, Jace Hill, besides with the Wicked Woods and the new outdoor sports exhibit coming, what's the next new exhibit that's coming up, or can you say?
Well, we haven't announced our lineup publicly yet for 2018.
But amongst friends and friends of the edge.
It's just the 4 of us.
Well,
exactly.
I'll just say something like, believe it or not, and leave it at
Oh,
that.
no, you didn't.
That's all I'm
Wow.
saying.
No, you don't understand. My wife and I got
I do.
got married in Gatlinburg.
Yes.
And we toured the
I don't know what you're talking about.
the museum
I can't-
down
Some sort
there.
of place.
A place, a kind of place.
And we walked through. They had a haunted house on the top floor, and she was scared. And boy, that's a great memory for me. I mean,
Yes, your wife
boy,
being scared. That's a great memory.
kind of odd how that came out. That's fantastic. That's really exciting as well.
Whatever it is.
Yes,
Whatever
I
it
didn't,
could be.
I didn't really
I
say
don't know.
much, did I?
I'm not sure what you're speaking of, but it does sound exciting.
Yeah, everything we do is exciting.
I believe it will be.
There you go.
There we go. All right. So how you can get in touch with the Indy Children's Museum, you can certainly check them out on Twitter at TMC Indy. You can go to Facebook.
TCM.
TCM. Oh, yeah. TCM. Sorry. The
Children's Museum. Indy.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Facebook.com, Children's Museum, Instagram at Children's Museum, and the website, childrensmuseum.org. Fantastic information, ladies. Thank you so much for being part of the show today.
Thank you for having us.
okay.
We've
We'll
really
see,
enjoyed it.
We'll see you at the haunted house.
Oh, yes.
So I got a question before we wrap up here. We were talking about this before. Do you think that the team from Site Strategics could possibly come out and maybe volunteer haunt out there?
I think it's possible.
And can I be a witch with you?
Of course.
Okay.
All right. This is fantastic. Thank you so much for your time today.
Yes, thank you.
we always hold Indy Children's Museum. It's a special place on our heart because you're doing such great work and you're giving back to the community on a regular basis. And you must be proud just being part of this organization. And you can certainly see from your dedication that it's paying off.
It's a wonderful place to work
Fantastic. Fantastic. So
And volunteer.
and volunteer. And we'll always take volunteers.
And visit.
all the things. That's fantastic. So check out the Children's Museum. If you hadn't been there for a long time, go back there. They're always changing and they're always making some great efforts to connect with your children and give them something to do, not just see. So check out all the things that are happening and go check out the haunted house. We're certainly going to announce the winner of the basket here at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that.